And we are back with more sadness and feelings. I'd be I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. I get that she fainted, but I don't really understand anything about why it happened or why she's acting like this. He nods, but his face is clouded. You don't know either? Well, yes and no. It's complicated. I assume we've heard about the concept of patient confidentiality at some point. This is a bit of a minefield in that respect. I'm gonna put this pretty bluntly. No. This is a matter for Ikazawa, me, and her therapist. I moved to protest, but think better of it. I want to deny what he says, but if I think this through rationally, what he says makes perfect sense. I understand. Good, good. I wish I could help you more, but I think what Ikasawa needs right now isn't somebody prying into her past or her emotions. She just needs somebody to be there for her. She needs a friend. For what it's worth, I think you've done well bringing her in here. Sounds like you and your friend dealt with the situation well too. I'd give you a lollipop or a stick as a reward, but you might be a little too old for either. He gives a cocky grin, obviously trying his best to lighten the atmosphere. I'm not really in a laughing mood, but he does manage to get a smile out of me. Thanks. Do you mind if I stay here with Hanako? I appreciate the thought, but I think it would be better to let her rest for now. She'll be let back into a dormitory room this evening, so you can visit her there. I agree with him, but it feels like all I can ever do around the nurses is humbly agree to what he says. But it's the same with the doctors in the hospital too. The walk back to the classroom is a long one, my mind feeling heavy under the weight of so many things happening so suddenly. Even as I re-enter the classroom, I'm thinking about Hanako. My stomach feels like it's turning into knots while I think about how to deal with her. Still don't know what I'm going to say when I see her again. Thankfully, the class doesn't pay me much heed. There are a couple of questioning glances, but overall, not many people seem to be very aware of what happened. Mutao raises his eyebrows to get my attention while I pass by his desk. Nakai, I take it Ikasawa's in the infirmary now? Yeah, I took her there, and the nurse said I should let her rest. Mutao nods, assuring me that I made the right call. He scratches his chin for a second before rising from the desk. Everyone, I want you to continue with the exercise. Nakai, I'll see you in the hallway, please. Speech is hushed, but overall he doesn't seem to be acting too differently from how he usually does. Being a teacher, maybe it's to be expected. As we go out into the hallway, I notice him taking a quick glance left and right to check if there are any students milling around. The hallway is nearly soundless, but I can't think of anything except waiting for Mutao to speak. Nakai, what do you think the purpose of this school is? To cater to the needs of disabled students? Mutao scratches his head as he shakes it. No, if we wanted to do that, we would have built a whole new school from scratch. One floor, talking whiteboards, that kind of thing. Look around, Nakai. The school is about giving you all a future that you would have been denied in regular education. Huh? Think of it this way. If we wanted you to graduate and go straight into a hospital, do you think we put in this much effort? The bluntness of Mutao's statement temporarily stuns me, causing me to forget about the immediate situation. No? That's right. I want you all to leave here as useful members of society. I'm not quite sure if I'm following you. I have high hopes for you, Nakai. You're possibly the first student I've had that gets my lectures. That isn't something that a teacher should be admitting so freely. You could easily take your studies of science well into university. Have you ever considered that? I can't say I have. Well, what have you considered? For your future, that is. I can't say that I've put much thought into my future. For a moment, I'm distinctly reminded of Lily questioning me about the same subject. It's been a little over 5 months since I was gasping for air on the ground. It's too soon to be thinking about the future, and besides, Hanako's problem seem much more bigger than me right now. What can I speak today? Mutao gives a disapproving sigh before continuing. Think of this place as an opportunity. Here, you have boundless facilities, good teachers, plus the added bonus of the nurse and his staff. Should be doing nothing but thinking of the future. Right. So I raise my head to meet his gaze. A thought occurs to me. It's almost like Mutao totally sidestepped the issue at hand. Excuse me, but why do none of the staff seem to care when Hanako skips classes? Seen you watch her walk out of class more than once. Shouldn't you at least say something? One, Nakai, it's not really that simple. Every student here has special needs. If it weren't for that, then we wouldn't have a school here. For example, I would keep you in class if you were having trouble breathing, would I? But that's not. Mutao cuts me off before I can even think about finishing my sentence. Because Zao's case is very much like that. But instead of CPR or a pacemaker, what she needs is time and space. The faculty was made aware of this from the day she arrived here. Thus, whenever she feels the need to leave classes, we let her do so. And even though she isn't a star pupil, she seems to pass all of her exams, so it hasn't affected her ability to study. Isn't that enough? I open my mouth to protest, but I can't find a fault in this argument. While her condition does at first seem to be wholly psychological, the worst effects have been on her psyche. Still puts me off though. Isn't he just passing on the responsibility for her problem? I'm surely she can't go like this for her entire life. I understand that you might not be used to this kind of thing yet. It's been a big change for you. That said, it's less than a year until graduation now. Maybe you won't have to go and get used to the school if you keep your head down. I'm sure you do well enough in your exams. I numbly nod, more to simply acknowledge that I'm listening than out of agreement. I felt like I was getting used to the school, but it feels like it's just been thrown back into my face. But what about Hanako? I do believe, I hope that she will perform well enough to do what she wants to do. What that is, I don't know. Not all students leave school with an idea of what they want to do, unfortunately. Takes care to emphasize the last word as if it wasn't quite clear enough already, and gives me a moment to mull his words over. Today's been a troublesome day for you, and I doubt you'd be able to concentrate much anyways after all that's happened, so I'll allow you to take the rest of the day off. Your grades have been good in this class so far, which makes me think you won't have any trouble catching up on what we've been doing. He gives a small smile along with his praise, as if to make up for the seriousness of his lecturing before now. Go collect your things, and I'll see you tomorrow. Right, thank you. Mutao's rounded speech as if my thoughts scattered. I'm still not any closer to working out what I can do to help Hanako. If anything, and my mind is all the more confused about what Mutao said. I'm also still bothered by the fact that Hanako was helped at least as much by Shizune, her enemy by proxy, as by myself. But I don't know whether that is just male bravado or a genuine concern. When I collect Hanako and my things from class, I continue to try and sort out my feelings. I want to say that I understand her, and I'm there for her. But while I might have been able to say that just yesterday, I can't say it now. I wish I could. I lay in my bed, trying to collect my thoughts. After Hanako's panic attack, I found myself fundamentally reassessing the relationship we share, and what I know about her. I had a hard enough time dealing with 4 months in the hospital. One look at her scars tell me that she was in for a lot longer than I was. But that as it may, I know next to nothing about her past. She has told me about the house fire, but only in the most basic way. What of her family? Still haven't asked Lily about them. There hasn't been a good opportunity to bring it up. I didn't know where she grew up or what her old school was like, nor of her past friends, her wishes and ambitions. Not even her taste in music, food and movies. All the little things that I knew about all of my friends. But just what have I been doing for all this time I've been with her and Lily? The distance, I hear the bell signaling the end of classes. With any luck, Lily will soon realize that neither Hanako nor I are around to return to the dormitories. My mobile phone starts to ring, cutting my thinking short. It quite startles me as I've really been called since coming to Yamaku. Why do I have a flip phone? Why do I have a flip phone? I know this game was made like in 2012, and this is set in 2007. This 2007, didn't he have the iPhone? I'm not sure. When did the iPhone come out? Anyways, why a flip phone though? Anyways, hello. Hisao Nakai speaking. Oh, Hisao, I'm glad I found you. You weren't at any of our usual places, so I thought this would be the fastest way to contact you. Probably should have guessed it would be Lily, as she's one of the few people I've given my number to. Even through the phone, her voice sounds slightly on edge. Hanako and I left class early. She has some kind of panic attack. The line goes silent. If it weren't for the background static, I would have thought Lily had hung up on me. I understand. Could you come by my room? I'd like to talk with you. Sure, I'd appreciate the chance to have a bit of a talk, actually. Good, and I have some bad news. I think we should discuss this in person. It's hard to grasp the seriousness of the situation from Lily's tone. She sounds so calm most of the time, but that could be a good or a bad thing. depending on how you look at it. Okay, I'll be right there. I collect Hanako's school things from my desk and head straight for Lily's room. I rub my knuckles on the door and she soon calls me in. Lily sits at the table inside her room, looking a little worse for fear. Guess that's because of the bad news. Following her gesture of invitation, I sit across from her and lay Hanako's things on the table. Well, there's no point in either of us waiting. Would you mind going first, Hisao? What happened today? My memory of the incident is already beginning to fade, but I explain as best as I can to Lily. Inviting Hanako to work with the group, Shizune and Misha's questioning, our foray to town getting discovered, in a subsequent panic attack. I asked Shizune's reaction almost as an afterthought, but Lily seems to take some kind of comfort in hearing about it. I guess rivals don't become rivals for no reason. There must be some history there, but now isn't the time to explore it. I see. She had said her therapist sessions were helping, but I had my doubts. It's quite a shame. Oh, I forgot she was talking. Her birthdays caused problems before, but I had hoped that she would have improved with you around in a more intensive therapy. Where is Hanako now? Last time I saw her, she was in the infirmary. I guess she's gone back to her room by now. She wasn't in the library or the tea room when I checked, so I can only assume that too. You said you also had some bad news. What's the matter? Does it concern Hanako? Lily shifts her position, the body way of saying she's searching for the right words. My aunt has fallen gravely ill. I'm afraid I'm going to be heading back to Scotland to visit her and spend some time with my family. What? Is she alright? Alright? When do you leave? I'm not altogether sure of exactly how she's faring at the moment. Though last I heard she was stable. I'll be leaving Saturday. It's the earliest flight that I could get. Stable? That code for needs to stay in the hospital. I've been stable long enough to know that, and to know that it doesn't necessarily mean someone's in condition, but merely treading water. On the upside, stable is much better than critical condition. At least she's not on the brink of death. Stable. That's a relief. Yes, but this means I won't be here for Hanako's birthday. I wanted to tell you now so we could think of something before we told Hanako. But after today's events, I'm not sure if there's going to be an issue. We simply cancel the party. I don't think that is such a good idea. Hanako already knows that we are planning a party now. To go back on that seems like the wrong thing to do. Also, we should do something for your going away, right? You make it sound as if I won't be coming back. If all goes well, I should only be away for a week. No. A week, though possibly two. That's one relief at least. With that in mind, what you suggesting? Given the circumstances, I don't think karaoke is really appropriate. You're not going away for the greatest of reasons, so having too much fun would feel wrong. What did you do for her birthday last year? Last year, I literally couldn't get her out of her room. She locked the door. All I could do was leave food outside for her, making sure that she was at least eating well. This is perhaps the most depressed I've ever seen and heard Lily act. Feel sorry for her, given how defeated she must feel to be unable to help her closest friend. Perhaps it would be better to throw the party before you leave then. That does sound like it would be the easiest option. I think we should at least tell Hanako, both about your trip and her party. I have her things from class as well. That's a good point. Maybe should we go and visit her now? I think that would be a good idea. I'm sorry for pausing it a lot. Sorry if I just blew out your eardrums. Part of me is dying to see Hanako. The last time I saw her, she looked like death walking. And these last few hours have torn me apart just thinking about that. We quietly get up and file out of Lily's room. Hanako's room is next door in the same hallway. Knocking lightly gets us no response, but the door proves to be unlocked. Lily pauses for a moment as the handle unexpectedly moves under her hand before opening the door. Hanako's room is startlingly bare and monotone. There are no decorations on a plain white wall, a plain dark blue blanket, and only a few books, papers, and purely utilitarian items on the shelves. I'm gonna end it here for this 14-minute